Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising, this is your November 2016 forecast. So for the first 3 weeks of November, the Sun is going to be in the 12th house. This is the customary position of the Sun in the weeks leading up to one's birthday. So the 12th house is the house of solitude, isolation, self-undoing even. So it's where we review everything that happened in the year leading up to this point. You know, we'd consider what we want to get rid of in our lives. The 12th house can bring up compulsive behaviors and, things that we're doing that are working against our best interests. So it's time to examine those unconscious attitudes. And, with Mercury that's going to be in the 12th house until the 12th of November, it's really good for that kind of detachment that you need when you review these sorts of areas. I mean, you don't want to beat yourself over the head with a broom because you didn't do everything perfectly. That's not the objective. The objective here is to look at what you've been doing with some kind of detachment. So Mercury in the 12th is going to give you that angle, where you can kind of review, consider, be objective, decide what you're going to keep, what you're going to eliminate, and what you want to do to make progress going from here on out. For those of you born between the 1st and the 4th of December, Neptune is squaring the Sun. So this can be a time of weakness, fatigue, where we lack clarity. So, be gentle with yourself. Neptune has a way of stripping the Sun's vitality and energy, so you may find that you're feeling tired all the time, a little bit weak. You may be filled with a little bit of self-doubt, not really sure what direction to take, but go easy on yourself. This is really the time where you want to get to bed early with a book. Don't push yourself too hard. The energies of the transit will retreat a lot faster if you just get some rest. And for those of you born between the 3rd and the 8th of September, your number is up with regards to this Saturn conjuncting the Sun. So Saturn really also restricts the vitality of the Sun. Saturn is that planet of curtailing, restriction, limitations. So with the Sun and Saturn conjunct, you can find yourself burdened with too many responsibilities. It can restrict freedom of movement. You may feel like you've got so much on your plate that you're not getting around to anything. So the advice for people experiencing this transit now, and it's coming for everyone, is, don't take on more than you can handle. Don't take on anything new at this time. Just try, in fact, if you can, eliminate some of the duties and responsibilities that you have. Get rid of them or delegate them to somebody else. But really what you want to do is conserve your energy, limit the tasks and duties that you have to as little as possible. So until the 12th of November, Venus, that sociable, artistic, creative and loving planet, is going to be in your first house. So Venus in the first can attract love and romance and social opportunities and opportunities just to enjoy yourself, to relax and have some fun without you having to make too much of an effort. Venus is a yin planet, so it doesn't actively initiate it, but it rather compels. So it magnetically draws opportunities for good times your way. So if you can, put your feet up wherever possible, relax and enjoy. And, if love is in the cards for you, then those things are going to come your way. You're not going to have to work too hard to attract them. Venus in the first also makes you more sociable. So lots of social opportunities, lots of opportunities to have a good time. Venus seeks like the easiest course of action. So, don't work too hard for fun. Fun will come to you. So after that, from the 12th, Venus is moving into your second house. And Venus in the second can really help you attract money. It's also good for negotiations around money because Venus has a way of relating to people where things are smoothed out and work out equitably. So this Venus energy, although it likes to spend money too, much the same as Mars in the second, but Venus likes to spend on beautiful things. Things like good clothes and quality food and wine and drink and perfume. So you may find yourself pampering yourself a little bit more because Venus does like to go to the spa, and also investing perhaps in some new clothes. So maybe it's time to buy yourself that birthday present. So Mars is going to be in your second house until the 9th of November, which we discussed last month. So Mars in the second, working very industriously and hard to increase financial revenues and income streams. Also spending a little bit too much perhaps at times, especially with the Mars-Pluto conjunction in October. But Mars is now moving into your third house. And Mars, which conversely to Venus is a very energy yang planet, you know, this is really going to pick up the tempo in day-to-day affairs. So this is kind of, you know, where, like I said, the sun in your 12th house is a time of reflection and retreat. Mars, by the middle of the month, starts picking up the pace a little bit, which coincides with Mercury moving into your first house as well. So Mars in the third picks up that tempo. It makes you very restless. You know, it's moving to get things done. It's very good for selling yourself, making a good impression. So being very persuasive, so you interview very well also, so very good for professional advancement because you present so well, you make a very robust impression on people. So it also gives you a lot of capacity for mental work and stamina, so you can work long hours and really concentrate and focus. And Mercury, which is moving into your first house, is really going to help you express your mind, your point of view. It's going to sharpen your mind and wit. So, you know, you're going to be very articulate and communicative. But Mercury in the first is also very active. Mercury isn't just how we speak and communicate. It's also moving, shaking, hustling. So it's what's on our mind and, you know, the mind kind of in motion. So this is a very restless time. You know, you may find your mind jumping from one thing to another. So try and contain yourself because that restless energy, it squanders the potential of Mercury in the first a little bit. So try and contain yourself to select activities and you'll be a lot more efficient and focused. But Mercury in the first, very good for initiating business discussions. You know, Mercury is that tradesman planet, so hustling is really the name of the game. So if you need to move and shake business-wise, then this planet will give you the opportunity to do that. And Mercury will be in your first from the 12th of November onwards. So let's look at what's happening throughout the month in terms of transits. So on the 30th of October, the new moon is in your 12th house. So this new moon has got the Sun, Moon, and Mercury trining Neptune. So with this placement in the 12th house, I would really use it to get rid of things that don't belong in your life anymore, to have a kind of overview of things that are going on. The Sun, Moon, and Mercury together, trining Neptune, it really puts you in touch with your gut feelings and instincts, so you'll have a good sense of how to take the initiative and what to do. You know, the trines to Neptune, very artistic and imaginative, so this is also very good for soul searching. You know, if you're at all inclined towards self-help books and self-improvement, then this would be the aspect where you can really investigate those things. So this trine is also going to be good for losing yourself in literature and novels and art. So very good for that period of reflection that we talked about for the first few weeks of the month. So on the 7th, the Sun is sextiling Pluto from the 12th to the 2nd. So again, this is that new broom sweeping clean. So if you need to make changes to your immediate environment, flushing out and cleaning up, the Sun and Pluto together are going to help you do that in an easy, non-stressful way. The Sun illuminates troubling issues, and the sextile allows you to kind of work them out quite seamlessly and harmoniously. So a very good cleaning house aspect, and the light to show you the light on the issues that you need to pay attention to. So on the 14th of November, the full moon is in your 6th house. So this brings things to a culmination in the 6th house of work, duties, responsibilities, and health. So this can actually bring up, you know, possibly areas where you've been neglecting your health. And, you know, so you may realize that, you know, things that you've been procrastinating on in terms of, you know, habits that you have, possibly smoking, not getting enough exercise, overeating, these things are going to culminate and possibly become a little bit uncomfortable because it's also the house of work. This is also where we can see, you know, perhaps areas of organization and efficiency and techniques that we're using in our work that are possibly not as, you know, streamlined as they could be. So now's the time to perfect techniques. This full moon brings things to a head, but it's things we're already aware of. And this also corresponds with that 12th house symbolism of what we need to get rid of, what we don't want to hold on to anymore, especially with the new solar return cycle being initiated when the birthdays start. So get rid of what you don't need, get rid of what's not serving you, get things organized and efficient. And even if you don't initiate these things yet, you know, although waning moons are very good times for diets and exercise things that you want to cut out of your life, see if you can decide on a course of action and, you know, at least make a date when you want to commit to them. So on the 22nd and the 23rd, there's some very good business aspects. Mercury is sextiling Jupiter, and Mercury is also conjuncting Saturn. And this is going to be in your first house. So Mercury and Saturn together are more serious, cast of mind. You know, it's very clear, logical, and concise. But Mercury sextiling Jupiter at this time, this gives you big picture thinking. You know, it helps you kind of see how all the pieces of the puzzle fit together. So this can kind of make you alert to all the possibilities that are bound, and, you know, put you in touch with group values and ideals if that's an area that you need backing from. And Mercury, of course, has got that attention to detail. So the influence of Saturn is quite useful here, because Saturn is going to curtail Mercury's restlessness, make it focus, make it think clearly and logically and rationally. So if you need to put things into paper, and if you need to, you know, so Mercury sextiling Jupiter, very good for those negotiations and discussions. Putting things onto paper, drawing up contracts, Mercury and Saturn will be excellent for that. So on the 24th, Jupiter is squaring Pluto from the 11th to the 2nd house. So Jupiter, which I spoke about last month in your house of hopes, wishes, dreams, aspirations, and groups and goals, is squaring Pluto. Now Pluto here and Jupiter working together, it's really a push for power. And it also awakens our ambition to do big things, especially because the 11th house aligns to hopes and dreams. So you're really looking for an area where you can make a difference, where you can have a little bit of power. And so this could be philanthropic or humanitarian. You know, it's very good for repairing, rebuilding, restoring. So conservation stuff also makes sense. So, you know, you could use this energy to find a platform where you can make a difference and a contribution and do something really meaningful. So see where that can work out for you. So on the 25th, Venus is conjuncting Pluto in your 2nd house. And much like Mars conjuncting Pluto in your 2nd house, which I think could have resulted in some kind of impulsive buying or some such, Venus in the 2nd conjuncting Pluto, it's quite similar. And this would be something a little bit more Venusian. So make some kind of lasting investment though. So Venus in the 2nd can be very favorable for artistic investments, things that have lasting beauty and value. So if you've been pondering what to do to spoil yourself with, then this is the aspect that will make things clear. It'll, you know, you're really going to feel that love at first sight with an object of your desire. So find yourself something beautiful and invest in it and make that your birthday present for yourself. So on the 26th, Mercury trines Uranus from the 1st to the 5th house. So these two planets working together, it's very electrifying. It really has your mind feeling alert and sharp, and you're going to be very solution orientated. So the 5th house is that house of creativity, but it can also be personal business projects. So this helps you problem solve, you know, to think of something new and novel. And, you know, so it's really creative solutions to problems. So, you know, use this energized mental aspect. It can really be good for trying something new as well. You know, if there's something that you want to launch in terms of personal business or a creative project that you want to get started, this may just help you get over the slump that's preventing you from taking action. So on the 29th, Venus is squaring Uranus from this, from your 2nd to your 5th house. So the 5th house is that house of romance. So this is where you want to try something new. If you're in an existing relationship, it can make you a little bit impatient with the way that things have been working. It's going to make you want to do something a little bit different. So looking for flexibility within that relationship. And for other people, it could make them want to start a new romance. So this could be the start of something new. And also possibly with someone that you didn't anticipate or wouldn't have previously considered. Venus and Uranus together can make you do something unexpected in the realm of love and romance and creativity. So see how that transpires for you. But if nothing else, do something different and, go somewhere beautiful or do something exciting. Something that stimulates those feelings of love and pleasure. So the month concludes with a new moon in the first house. So this new moon in the first, this is an opportunity to reinvent yourself and to reinvent your appearance. There's difficult aspects with Neptune, so it's not necessarily a good time to commit to a business venture because you won't be seeing things clearly. But because the new moon also relates to personal reinvention, this could be a time to get a new haircut, get a new wardrobe. The sun, of course, from the 22nd is going to be in your first house where, it's giving you vitality, vigor, a lot of pip and vim. It's making you confident and wanting to make a favorable impression on people and able to do so. So this new moon with Neptune, like I said, not necessarily good for business things. Things may seem better than they are, but in terms of your personal appearance and your presentation, this is certainly up for artistic reviews. So see if you want to make some changes. Like I said, you could change your hair color, change your wardrobe a little bit, and present yourself very artistically. And it's very favorable for that on the other hand. Anyway, for those of you having a birthday at the end of November, happy birthday. And if you've liked this podcast, please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to book a personal reading, you can visit my website at www.psyche.co.za to book a consultation. Thanks so much for listening.